My first question is about poor whites and the role they play in the system of white supremacy. Here in the city I stay in, it seems to be like at least like 15% of poor whites in the city part where non-whites stay. But they seem not to be too concerned what's going on or no interest in, what's going on. They don't really, they just complicit in what's going on in the system. And I was curious to ask Mr. Fuller, what role do they play in the system of white supremacy as poor white? That's my first question, if I could get
Mr. Fuller?
If I understand the question, that wouldn't register within determining whether or not a person is a white supremacist, because the definition for poor whites is very vague. Very vague. What is a poor white person in a system of white supremacy? What does it mean? They have $10 rather than $5? I mean, or $10,000 rather than 5,000? And what does that have to do with how they treat people based on color? So that doesn't even register. The question is, are you a white supremacist or not? Regardless of what people call you poor or rich or well-educated or sophisticated or whatever other terms you may have. It doesn't matter if you believe in white supremacy. Just because you don't have any money doesn't say that you may or may not believe in white supremacy and practice it as best you can. So that's what you determine about the person. So what the compensatory counter-racist logic requires me to do is that any white person who is able to be a white supremacist in a system of white supremacy should be suspected of being one until proven by his or her actions in all areas of activity all the time that he or she is not a white supremacist. And the proof must be to me. That's the criteria. I'm not supposed to ever take somebody else's word for a person being not being a white supremacist.